Instagram.
Whoa, hello.
Hello.
Let's go live, Kristen.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay,
we're live.
We're live. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have all of you guys with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, look, Skin Therapeutic is live now.
I
It says on our Instagram
notification.
account.
That's so funny.
Awesome.
Love it. Hello, everyone. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us.
So how are you this fine morning, Kristen?
You know, I'm really tired. We just had all this rain, and it's definitely taking its toll. I'm just like, I really want to
Yeah.
sleep.
Rain
Yeah.
does take a toll, especially in the making you sleepy. Ooh, what are you drinking? Wonder Woman water?
Let's take a guess. Guess what I'm drinking.
Let's see. Matcha.
No, that is an option though. I'll
Water.
probably switch to that one. No,
Coffee.
black coffee.
Black coffee.
Yeah, I need all the energy I possibly
I
can.
think I sang that song last time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a thing. I feel like.
I think it is. You know, it's an Ella Fitzgerald song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
What's the title of this? Is it just black coffee?
I think it may be like cigarettes and black coffee.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Are you sure?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I'm gonna fact check this.
Yeah, but check it out. I like Ella. She good.
She is great. She's one of the greats.
Yeah. Wow. So today,
It's a big topic.
it is a big topic, and it's rather serious.
It is pretty serious, you guys.
We're going to try to interject some fun, but please know that we're not trying to be disrespectful.
Absolutely not.
We're just nervous.
We are kind of nervous. Well, this is
Yeah.
something that's a really big deal, and I think as the years have gone on, we've learned more and more about, this topic and kind of
Right.
expanded on the dangers and everything and the severity of it. So,
Yeah, and me personally, I'm personally visiting the dermatologist every 6 months just to get spots checked and such. And now he's making me come back in 4 months
oh wow.
because there's things he's watching.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of prone to that, I feel like, with your skin type and everything.
Well, with my skin type and my stupidity of not using sunscreen
Yes.
ever until maybe 5 years ago.
We haven't actually told them what we're going to talk about today.
Oh,
We've just
we'll
kind
clue
of
you all
dove in.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about protecting your skin,
Yes.
the skin you're in,
Yes.
sunscreen, skin cancer, all those things that we are very susceptible to, and is showing up a lot now.
A lot.
A lot.
I
And
think,
I think it's because of my generation, we didn't have sunscreen.
right.
I mean, we did, but we didn't really use
It
it.
is optional.
It was totally optional. You didn't have to. It was not
No.
required.
I was kind of like looking at the evolution of tanning and everything and how that all, other than just like sun exposure, but tanning beds and all that. And we came across several of those retro, face lamps and where women would just like sit in front of it and you couldn't do it for more than like 10 minutes because you would get like 3rd-degree burns.
Yeah,
But it was just like something you could buy to have in your home, like put on your makeup, right beside it, and that just just like makes me so nervous thinking about where we've come from. But that's a generation, that's now kind of.
Well, I
we're
was in
seeing
the tanning bed generation when tanning beds were invented.
Really?
I was coming up. Actually, true confession. When I was in college, I had like a very short summer job for a tanning bed manufacturer.
What?
Selling tanning beds.
What?
Oh my gosh, and I remember the training of them telling us how it was not harmful for your skin.
Oh my gosh.
And actually how good it was for your skin. This was in the training. Yeah, of course, we didn't have research then.
Yeah.
But now we do. They're not there anymore. But,
Absolutely not.
yeah, but I look back on that with much regret.
I'm glad you regret it. I'm glad you're having feelings of regret now.
Yeah.
But we're kind of paying the price now too.
We are paying the price, but we didn't know.
Right.
Back then, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't. But I will say, like, I had a small stint of working in a tanning salon in college, and I mean, just picture this. I'm platinum blonde, and I'm tanning like every single day. We actually got in trouble because we were tanning twice a day, which we didn't know at the time was not okay. And like we would have the leg tanner, and then we would also, do the, the
Right.
big bed or whatever. This like, it looked like a spaceship. Honestly, I think it's hilarious. But yeah, we would kind of get in trouble because we were, tanning. We wanted to tan twice a day, and at the time, like, why would you do spray tan if you, could get it by just going in this massive spaceship of a tanning bed?
Right. Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, it was.
So tan, platinum blonde.
Oh my gosh.
Were you ever in a Whitesnake video?
I don't think so.
That's what everybody wants to know.
That was like a thing anymore.
Probably. Oh,
Different generation
Sorry.
here.
Sorry, I'm old.
I'm like at the beginning of the millennials, like the very, very cusp of millennials, if you will.
We have rabbit trailed.
We have
excellently this morning. Let's get to what we really came here to talk about.
We need to do a thumbnail thing though. Okay, so I don't know if y'all tuned into the last video. We were told before the last video that we needed to pause in the beginning so that we could, they could capture a good thumbnail photo.
Our editors.
Who is?
It's me.
I was like, who's our editor? Do I know this person?
It's me.
So they said you need to pause in the beginning so you can get a good thumbnail video. We're like, okay, we'll do that. So we're gonna take a few poses here. So just bear with us real quick. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next one. I think that was a good one.
That was good. Yeah.
Let's do another one. Let's do like a wild card one.
Wild card.
Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3. Okay, no gang signs. No gang signs.
I didn't do gang signs.
You didn't
No,
okay.
I'm not in the gang anymore.
Just like I'm the PR person here. I gotta make sure we're in the good.
Not doing that.
All right.
Okay.
Can we do let's do 90s sitcom. Okay, ready?
Excellent
1, 2,
choice.
3. Okay, that was my favorite. I hope that one worked.
Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying this.
Yes.
Now let's get to the topic
serious
at hand,
stuff,
the serious side. Hopefully we've gotten that nervousness out of ourselves and we can talk seriously. So this month is actually
Skin Cancer
Awareness Month, or Melanoma May.
Yeah.
That they call it, and so it's a good month to be talking about this, and especially we thought for you guys as professionals, you may see a lot of these things on your clients that they may not have seen.
Right.
And if you have, then you can at least make them aware of it and help them get to a dermatologist or a doctor just to get things checked out if you see anything weird.
Yeah, absolutely. So in preparing for this live, we did a lot of research, including from the Mayo Clinic, the American Cancer Society, curemelanoma.com, and actually we turned to one of my favorite Instagram accounts. It's Corey Fetz. She is at Burnt Freckle on Instagram, and it's burntfreckle.com is her website if you want to check it out. She has an amazing story and is so candid about her story and what she went through is for skin cancer and everything, and she's a survivor and a fighter. So one of the greatest things about her is that she's she shares information about sunscreens and products that she uses, as well as like the cancer creams and stuff she's having to use during her treatments. And so she's very much about not only protecting the skin that you're in, but also preparing people who may be going through this journey or may eventually go through this journey, that kind of stuff. So, and I think she joined us on Instagram. Hey, Corey, thank you for being here. So anyway, check her Instagram out, give her a follow, check out our website and kind of look at her story. It's very inspirational and educational as well.
Yeah, it's good stuff to know. Some of the stats, we just wanted to talk about some stats first, and that way I think it will really drive home the importance of what we're talking about when you look at some of these things. So let's just say the average annual cost for treating skincare in the U.S. it's over $1 billion. Yeah,
skin cancers is a $1 billion. I mean, that's crazy. That's a ton of money.
It is.
And another stat is there are 5 million cases of skin cancer. They're diagnosed every year. 5 million every single year. It's not only the most common cancer, but also the most preventable as well.
Right. And this stat was alarming to me, is that according to the Melanoma Research Alliance, that a person dies every hour from skin cancer. That's huge.
Yeah.
And something that we need to take notice of and pay more attention to what's going on and what we can do to prevent it.
And I know we kind of talked about our tanning bed experiences and stuff earlier, but one of the stats we came across from the American Academy of Dermatology was using a tanning bed before 35 increases your risk of skin cancer by 59%, you guys. I mean, that is over 50% chance it increases your risk of skin cancer. So basically just stop tanning. Spray tan is a great thing. So just if you have a membership or you still have a gift card or whatever to a tanning salon, maybe use it for a spray tan instead of the leg tanner, you know, or whatever. So
yeah, one of my friends she's posting regularly now on Facebook a lot. She used to be a tanning bed addict, and I can't tell you how many cancerous cells that she's had removed because of the tanning bed.
It's like every time she goes to the dermatologist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's terrible to watch her have to go through that, but especially on her back. And so that's why we also wanted to make you guys aware of this too. As professionals, you're going to see things on people's back that they may or may not see.
Or
so
neck, or décolleté.
Whatever. Scalp is a big area too, especially guys with short hair, because I know I get burnt on my head a lot over the years.
Yeah, and ears are another big place that a lot of people don't think about, but ears and hands are one of are the most increasing areas, like the most what do you call it, like they become more aware that those areas on the body are getting more cancer removed from those areas more often now.
Yeah.
So we cover our face with sunscreen, and we may cover our arms, but we're not getting our hands very well, or we're not reapplying on our hands and our ears. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Another stat that we found is that obviously the closer you are to the sun, then your increased chance of UV radiation. Bad UV radiation getting to you, and that can be either in higher elevations or if you're closer to the equator, whatever, and wherever you're closer to the sun, then you need to pay more attention to protecting your skin.
Yeah, and actually 90% of skin aging is due to the effects of UV radiation. So not just talking about skin cancer and how to prevent and that, but we're in the business of skin. We're in the business of anti-aging, for the most part, or aging gracefully, and 90% of skin aging is due to UV radiation. So it really has to do with the amount of sun exposure your client's been in the sun as much as they have.
Yeah. So let's talk about, you are your biggest advocate, and even in your case for your clients as well. So we need to be checking our moles, especially. I know when I go to the dermatologist, that's the first thing that he checks is looking at those. And they use a system, it's like the ABCDEs of checking, and each letter stands for something that they look for within the shape of those and how they evaluate it. So the A stands for asymmetry. So they're looking for, if one side of the mole looks different than the other, if the size of it on two sides don't look the same or are different sizes, then that could be an indication that it's a cancerous cell.
Yeah, or the border irregularity. Basically, the B. Basically, there's no borders, and it's very it's like a splotch instead of it looking like a symmetric.
Yeah, like a solid form. The C is color, and so there are different colors that they're going to look for, especially if something is two different colors. Then that usually a mole is uniform in its color. And so it'll all be the same color all over. But if something is cancerous or precancerous, then you may see different colors within the shape of that mole or that spot.
So the D is diameter. They're looking for a diameter greater than 6 millimeters, which is about the size of a pencil eraser. So anything bigger than that definitely needs to be checked by a dermatologist for cancerous cells.
Yeah. The E is for evolving size, shape, or color. And so these spots that my dermatologist is watching, that's what he's looking for. He's looking for, do they change? Do they look different in color? Are they different in size? Like I have one on my palm right there that he is watching.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so that's, we'll talk about that later, is that it's not always just places that are exposed to the sun, but palms of hands, soles of feet are pretty common as well.
Really?
A friend of mine got one removed from the bottom of her foot.
Oh, that had to be painful.
It was. Fortunately, mine is not growing and not changing
That's good.
now, so that's good. But it's splotchy. It's not uniform and that kind of thing. So we're watching it.
Absolutely.
Together.
So palms of hands, scalp, face, lips, ears, these are all places where skin cancer can develop. And that's why we kind of need to be, more alert and doing, self-checks along with having, others check us. I usually look at my husband's back just to make sure that he's good, because he likes to, be outside in a tank top, and sometimes his shoulders will get a little red, but, and I don't want him to develop anything. So, but you said fingernails even was one of the things I read that I thought was, I never learned
fingernails, toenails, or even on the tips. of fingernails, toes.
Yeah.
It was interesting though that they said on the legs is more common in women than men. You have a theory on that as to why?
Well, I think it's just because, just from my experiences, we wanted the most important part of our body that we wanted tan was our legs, and so we tend to overdo it there. Like I would do the big tanning, the spaceship tanning bed, and then go to the leg tanner later in the day. So
it's a leg tanner.
It's just like a small tube. You just put your legs in. You literally sit at the top of this thing and put your legs in. So I think that's why it's more common in women than maybe men. So
okay,
but yeah.
Yeah, and for the men, it's nose and ears. Those are the most common places.
And that's if you've ever seen a skin cancer being burned off the nose, a spot being burned off the nose, it's a tough thing to watch, you guys. Another thing that we thought was interesting area was actually the genitalia area. And after I read it, a story from one of my former coworkers came to mind, and how she was actually going to get her bikini wax, and her waxer said, she was like, "Hey, you have a mole here that I've never seen before." And so it's thankfully she was just going to get her normal summertime going into summertime wax, and it turned out to be an active skin cancer. And so she got it removed and everything's great, but I'm pretty sure that she tans in the tanning bed pretty often, and what a weird place to get it, but we never, we probably don't look there very often, or
don't. But that's one of the things
attention.
that the research that we did says, make sure that you're checking these spots too, because it's not just the exposed parts of the skin. It's more likely there, but it not necessarily
so
just there.
Thankfully her licensed professional was there, to kind of look her over and check and everything like that, and it turned out being a very life-saving thing. So definitely I think it's our responsibility as licensed professionals to be aware and to be really honest and frank with our customers that hey, you need to get this checked out now.
It's a good thing to do. I know you're a counselor too, but we can also look at different things on the body as well. But let's talk about some symptoms. So when you are looking at someone, what kinds of things are you going to look for? And so the crazy thing is that these precancerous and cancerous cells can take so many different forms and color. There's a lot really to pay attention for. Really, if you're looking for something that just doesn't look normal, then you might want to mention it. But specifically, sometimes these are going to look like a pearl-colored waxy bump. And so kind of shine. A friend of mine that had something removed from his forehead, that's what it looked like. It was
really?
this pearly, waxy looking thing. He's like, that doesn't look right. That looks weird.
No.
Yeah, he just said, I noticed it was shiny. And so that's when he went in, and it was.
Yeah, the most, I think one of the more common ones, excuse me, I got a wrong pipe, I think. Anyway, the bleeding or scabbing sore that returns, that's something that's pretty self-explanatory. I think, if it does return, you need to definitely get that checked out, because that's not normal for something to scab over and bleed like that and then not go away. So you're looking also for firm red nodules, and those can look like pimples even.
Yeah, I think the big difference is that they're probably growing and they're really red, at least from the pictures. And I would say that I would look on the scalp for these. That's where some of the things that we looked at, that's where a lot of the pictures were. But even, they don't have to be a bump, they can be flat. And so like this one on my hand I know is flat, but it's kind of splotchy, there's no borders, those can be two different colors. And so those kinds of things, or if it's just even a lesion, not just a spot, but a lesion where there's been some sort of scab or something like that it won't go away. I think that's one of the things too, was something that bleeds and then maybe it goes away and then it returns in the same spot, exactly the same way.
Yeah, definitely need to get that checked out. A large brownish spot with dark speckles, moles that change in color, size, or feel, or the feel of them, the texture of them. Small lesions with irregular borders that appear red, pink, white, blue, or black even. And then painful lesions are definitely something you should take close attention to.
Especially if they itch or burn.
Yeah,
I think that's a clue too, is that a lot of times moles won't. But if there's something going on, then it may itch or burn or something like that.
So pay attention to the sensations you feel around those things too. And then the last one, of course, is the dark lesions on the palms, the soles of the feet. They don't have to look look like moles,
Right.
but they definitely need to be paid attention to if you've never seen them before. So what are some risk factors when it comes to sun exposure and, it's basically skin cancer prevention?
Yeah, so there's a lot of them, and that's the one thing too. We want to make sure that we stress most sun damage is caused by UV rays, either by tanning beds or the sun, but not always. And there are some other risk factors to pay attention to that even if you use sunscreen religiously and you've never had any problems or things, there are other things that could contribute or make you more susceptible to that. So one of those is just skin tone. If you have fair skin, then you can be more susceptible to that, or a history of sunburns or some sort of excessive exposure to the sun. And that could be years ago. I know one of my stupid moments when I was a teenager was we used to go fishing every year. Like the first sign of spring, we would head out. We called it the burnout.
The burnout?
Because we were literally going to try to get sunburned.
Are you talking about doing your base tan?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, it was just. And on my shoulders one time, this friend of mine made homemade suntan oil, which was Crisco and something else.
Gosh.
I don't know what it was.
Are you kidding me?
No. So I mean, my shoulders are so brown spot, freckled. It was probably second degree burns.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see where that would be second degree.
Yeah. So,
that's just. Are you friends with them anymore?
Yeah.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah, we're guys, of course.
Okay. I would not be friends with that person anymore.
Yeah. Well, we were both teenagers, and so.
I guess it was your choice to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving some.
I'll take some responsibility.
Those who are more prone to moles, so if you generally just have moles, you definitely, can be more prone to getting skin cancer because of that. Also, Corey just said, I use Crisco too. Guilty. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
That's so funny. So you also need to talk about family history of skin cancer.
Yeah.
You're more susceptible without the family history, or excuse me, you're more susceptible with the family history, but you're not in the safe zone just because it's not a family history for you. So definitely take that into consideration. Talk to your parents, talk to your grandparents even, and just aunts, uncles, whoever you can get information from. If that's available. And then if your family history is not available for some reason, then you should definitely just go to the dermatologist on a regular basis and just have that initial checkup, and then have your let your dermatologist determine what you want to do from there. They're going to be the best, they're going to be the most informed and best person for the job. Yeah, my dermatologist went last week, and so he said, are your windows tinted? Because if they're not, you need to make sure that your windows are tinted. So it's like, this is a prescription, man. That's cool. Get your windows tinted. Your doctor said so. Your doctor said so. I do want to note that just because your windows are tinted, it doesn't actually save you from all UV rays.
Right.
UVA can still get through tint. So unless you have, I know that there is a more expensive tint that you can that does block out more, but for just regular tint, it does not save you from the UVA rays. So even if you're in the car and you have dark tinted windows, you definitely still need to be wearing sunscreen, because you will get hyperpigmentation and you will get sun exposure and damage on that side of your face. And if anyone has, is kind of like, I don't know about that, if that doesn't sound real scientific or whatever, just Google truck drivers and truck drivers and skin. And there's a picture going around, it's kind of made its rounds, where literally on this side of this driver's face looked completely different than the other side. And it's just because of the sun exposure from sitting in the driver's seat window, or by the driver's seat window. So
a weakened immune system is another thing. So any kind of autoimmune disease or HIV/AIDS, if you're taking any kind of autoimmunosuppressant medications, I know this firsthand. My son has an autoimmune disease, and we have to coat him every day. He's only 10, and we have to coat him every day with sunscreen before he goes out and does anything. And we have to do this all year long, because just what his immune system, it's down because of the medication that he has to take and all this kind of stuff. And so we have to be able to protect him. And the sun a lot of times is just a trigger for different things that he has to go through and do. Yeah,
so definitely if you have any of these in your family history, or if you're more susceptible to sun exposure or sun damage because of your history or whatever, definitely need to go make that appointment right now and make sure that you're taking care of your skin. So let's move on to like what you can do to prevent. I know we've been talking about, make that appointment.
Right.
But what other things can we do to kind of like minimize our UV radiation and sun damage exposure?
Well, I think avoiding the strongest rays of the sun. So the sun in the middle of the day is obviously the strongest.
Right.
And if you were a sun worshiper, then you knew that, and that's when you did go out and get in it, which is what I did. And
lather and Crisco first.
Yeah, Corey can probably attest to that. Corey also mentioned butter, I see, yes.
No, he just likes butter in his coffee now.
Well, I do, but it has been used to tan as well. People do it, I'm just saying.
The smell of like the tanning bed smell sticks with me. I can smell it just by talking about it right now.
Yeah.
And it's attached to so many things. And I think about like how I smelled coming out of the tanning bed and then adding like melted butter to that. And I kind of think I would smell like a baked potato.
You would smell like a baked potato.
I'm literally a baked potato right now. That's hysterical.
Cannot be good.
No,
for
absolutely
not. So usually like between 10 and 4, I think is really, 10 and 2 I know is really strong, but even on up to 4 can be really, really strong. So seek the shade.
Absolutely. And then of course wear sunscreen daily. That is something we are going to preach around here all the time. You definitely need to be using broad spectrum, at least SPF 30. Apply generously every 2 hours if you're going to be outside. It definitely, you definitely need to be reapplying if you're going to be sweating or in the water, because even though it says water resistant doesn't mean that it's not going to be doesn't need to be reapplied later.
Right.
So that's something that you can do, is just definitely reapply every 2 hours. And then of course wear protective clothing. So tightly woven fabrics, broad brimmed hats. There's definitely, I know that I've seen recently there's these sun shirts that have come out in the last couple years. So they've got really great UV radiation protection, just by not only coverage, but it's also built into the fabric. And so thanks, science.
I know, it's great because we buy that stuff for my son, especially in the summer when he's going to be swimming or outside for a long time. Then we'll use those.
And they're coming out with some really cute ones for women too. It's not just for the kids now.
Yeah, I mean they're for everybody.
Yes.
But for golfers, they have golf shirts that have them out too, which is good. We've mentioned tanning beds over and over again, so I think we're good with that. We're aware of that. But another thing I know I have personal experience with is sun sensitizing medications. So that can be like antibiotics. I know for me it was allergy medicines. When I would take Claritin because I was going to go play golf because I had to, or I wouldn't be able to see anything because my eyes would water out.
Or breathe for that matter.
Or breathe or anything like that. But man, I could tell when I took Claritin, it was like you don't tan, you just like almost you would burn immediately. Yeah, you can really, the sun becomes so intense. And so just pay attention to warning labels or anything on any kind of medications that you may be taking, that if it is sun sensitizing, then it's probably going to mean that you're going to burn faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do want to kind of move into, we've been saying this the whole time, but definitely check your skin regularly. If you have a significant other, have them check your areas that you may not be able to see on, yourself. If you get a mirror, get one of those handheld mirrors and really kind of look over everything. If you are a licensed professional and you're watching this, it's your responsibility to pay attention. So if you see something on your clients that you see on a regular basis, please tell them and just kind of warn them, this doesn't look exactly right. This is something that may be of concern. So have a dermatologist, a local dermatologist as one of your contacts, so that you can set them up with an appointment if they have an availability, or at least pass along the information. It's up to them to do what they will with it, but at least you're doing your part as the licensed professional and promoting not only beautiful skin but healthy skin. Yeah,
I think that's critical. I think there's two, when you're looking at sunscreens too, it's important to look at the labels and look at what's in them, and a lot of things are changing right now in sunscreen. There's even some proposed legislation right now that the FDA has put forth to outlaw some of the ingredients that have been used in sunscreen that have been very common in sunscreen forever. And so there's a lot that haven't come out yet, but we're noticing too that a lot of our ingredient suppliers are going ahead and complying with these new regulations just because of the research that's been done on some of these things.
And the fact that they know it's going to pass because of that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to pass, and it should. And the reason is just now that we have the data to back up what some of these things do, and they're mainly chemical sunscreens, so there's two different kinds. either a chemical sunscreen or a physical sunscreen. And the big difference is a physical sunscreen, it's going to be more natural. Common physical sunscreen elements are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. The difference is that basically sits on top of the skin rather than soaking into the skin. So it forms a barrier to that. And so it does, you have to reapply it more. It can come off easier because it doesn't soak in. Where the chemicals will soak in and into the skin and keep the sun rays from penetrating really deep. And so it will stay. So the problem that we've run into with some of those ingredients is that it gets into your immune system and different parts of your bloodstream and different parts of your body, that over time, that's what they're finding. Some of these have not been good.
Right. So I think there's an ingredient specifically that's been related to like thyroid complications, and I think that's the octinoxate.
No, it's not the octinoxate. It's octibenzone.
Octibenzone, yeah, that one. So that one's definitely been, kind of, paired with some thyroid issues of, when people are applying it to their, face and neck and décolleté and everything. So, so we definitely need to, I think there's a place for both of them.
Right.
And I personally use one that has, it's the octinoxate that's in mine and so I use the one that is chemical on a daily basis, and I really like it for a lot of reasons, just because I know it's gonna get in there and stay on my face because it's a chemical based sunscreen.
Actually, it's ours. Our SPF 30 water resistant has both. So it's both chemical and physical. So it has two actives in it. So you're going to get the titanium dioxide that is going to sit on top of the skin, and then some of the chemical that's going to go a little bit deeper and penetrate. And right now that ingredient is not on the watch list.
It's not
as of yet, but we're watching too, and if anything does change, then we will make changes to that.
Definitely. I like the other option as well too. It's we call it our tinted moisturizer because there's a lot of great moisturizing ingredients in it as well. But it's SPF 30, and it is also broad spectrum, but it is what we can classify as a physical sunscreen. So there is titanium dioxide and micronized zinc in that one.
Yeah, and so the micronized zinc is what helps it actually not leave that chalky residue on your face, and so that's what we like about it too.
Yeah.
And actually, both of these smell amazing.
Yeah, they do.
So neither one of them smell like sunscreen, which I think is great, especially on your face, so close to your nose.
Yeah.
I don't want that smell with me all day, like the beach or whatever the typical sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreens kind of smell like plastics to me, and that's not something that's very attractive in my book. So, I mean, I'm glad that people are wearing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm so happy that you're wearing sunscreen, but I'd prefer to not smell like the beach all the time, all year round. So
I don't need to.
Yeah, don't need to. So we actually have those on special this month. So they are 15% off. If you have an account with us, you can order. We have it in stock, and everything is here. We can get it to you pretty quick.
Yep.
We know that this weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and so a lot of
what a great time for sunscreen.
I know, right? A lot of you are going to be on the lake or at the beach, or just out in the sun, gardening and whatnot. And so just make sure that you guys are covering up if it's with our product or another, and keep your skin beautiful and healthy.
Yeah. We also are still promoting our new posters that just came out.
They're really
so
awesome.
Part of our Let Your Confidence Glow campaign, we just released some new posters that are more spring and summer themed.
They are.
So there's 3 new ones, and you can take a look on our website to see what those are.
Page.
On the specials page on the website. But this month only, if you make a purchase of $150, we will send you one of those posters for free. If you make a $250 purchase, you get 2 posters
for free,
or they're $15 each. If you just want to buy them, you can buy them.
Right, and at $150, you're getting free shipping anyway. So, awesome.
Yeah, and they're typical poster size, 18 by 24. So they're easy to find frames and hang them in your lobby, your treatment room, whatever. They look really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we want to thank Miss Corey Feltz for kind of being a part of this live, and for joining us today. I didn't realize you would be here, but that's awesome. Thank you for being here. We just basically, we're in the business of skin, and we want to make sure that we're covering topics that are beneficial to you guys. If y'all have any questions, of course, reach out to us. Also, I wanted to say our next live in June, so it's going to be in about 2 weeks. We're going to do a Q&A, so please submit any questions that you have. We'll go over some of the most common questions that we get, but please, by all means, send your questions to us, whether be by email, or you can, DM us here on Instagram or Facebook, and we want to do that. So the next live is going to be a live Q&A with me and Brian, and we'll be talking about, all the stuff that you guys that y'all want to know about. So.
Yeah. So we can't wait. That's going to be a blast.
It is going to be really fun.
I can't wait for that. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure. We love doing these. Hopefully you found it helpful and educational. That's our goal. And look forward to getting your questions for the next live. So
Excellent.
Hope you guys have a great day, and thanks again for being here.
Wear your sunscreen.
Please.
Bye, you guys.